Okay, help. My childhood friend is not my boss, and he wants me to be his bride. Yeah, I know it's a crazy title. I know it's a so long title, but it is what it is. And period. Let's start. Not gonna be blabbering about anything more. I'm dreaming. I know this is a dream because I am in the woods near Kuriyama playing with Ikue. Ikue? I haven't seen Ikue in years. Not since her family moved away, a little after her 10th birthday. Okay, it's been almost 2 decades since then, and I've not heard so much as a single pip from her. Oh, look, Ikue was my very best friend back when I was a little brat, and she meant a lot to me. I don't think it'd be an exaggeration to say that I loved her, though I don't know if I loved her in a romantic sense. I don't think I was old enough to appreciate the nuances of romantic love back then. I was just a kid myself, after all. I knew that I loved hanging out with her, though we always played at school, in the playground, on the rusted old swing sets, and we partnered together in class whenever Miss Miyabi asked us to work on posters to hang up in the classroom. We were together through the school day, and we often hung out after school too. I wouldn't go to Ikue's house very often because her mother was so strict, but Ikue came to mine a lot so we could play with my robot toys or watch TV. My parents have always been laid back and they liked having Ikue's around. My mother made a big fuss of her in particular. She said her neatly braided hair was so cute, and she always asked Ikue if she wanted second portions during dinner. To fatten you up, dear. You are so skinny. You look like a rake. Surely that can be healthy. Not for a grown girl your age. Oh. Ikue and I spend a lot of time in my room reading comics and making up fantastical games. But we also spend a decent amount of time outside. I love to wander in the woods during the summer when it was bright and sunny outside, or as bright and sunny as it ever can be in Hokkaido, I guess. I like to venture out among the tall grass with a net and an empty mayonnaise jar in hand, trying to find cool bugs I could show my parents. Stag beetles were always my favorites, but sometimes I'll snap up cicadas and many-legged centipedes too. I don't think Equal liked this game all that much, but she still jumped at any invitation to go out with me. I think she just liked having an excuse to get out of her of the house and away from her parents. I know she never got on well with her mother, and I could tell why. I don't think anybody in Koriyama did, not Ikue or Miss Miyabi or even her own husband. That's probably why Ikue's parents wound up divorcing, and it's why Ikue moved to Sapporo with her father. What had happened later, I'm getting ahead of myself. Look at the woods. Can I open hide? Okay. I went on a lot of walks with Ikue in the woods, like I said, though it wasn't always the safest thing to do. Nowadays, I think parents would have been a bit more concerned about their small children running around unsupervised, but this was the 90s. We were born in an era before cell phones were all that common, and my parents didn't even have a PC until I started middle school. It was normal for kids to run around on their own. It wasn't like there was much else to do. I never felt more free as a child than when I was dashing around the woods with my net in hand, trying to nab some interesting insects from my collection. Iko would trail along behind me, asking me to wait for her, but I just laughed at her. I never slowed down as a kid, not for Ikwe or for anybody else. I really was a loud one to myself. Hmm. Looking back on it, I'm not sure if I was all that nice to Ikwe, but she still hung on every word I say. Back then, I couldn't have imagined that she would ever leave me. We were practically joined at the hip, two intrepid explorers wandering through the woods. I've been thinking about my childhood in Kuriyama a lot lately, probably because work has been so stressful. It's a nice reprieve from answering endless emails and worrying that my job will be automated away from me. I dream of us wending our way through the old scrubby forest, and I dream of the tall trees towering around us, the leaves singing in the breeze. I dream about the net in my hand and the straps of my backpack digging into my shoulders. I dream about the cries of the cicadas and the chirping of the birds. And I dream about Ikue. In this dream, Ikue is laughing behind me. It's lagging behind me while I dash through the woods. She posts and cries. Can you slow down a bit? You are too fast. Of course, I don't. Of course, I don't listen to her. I don't think I ever did. I smirk instead and say, "Hey, Ikue, don't you think that maybe I'm not the one going too fast and you were just being too slow? Fuck this guy. Now hurry up. I wanna catch some bugs." "But you are already really far ahead, Renji. You're going to leave me behind? I don't want to be on my own." "Oh, really? Oh, yeah." Oh. I glance back at Ikue from over my shoulder, smirking. Maybe I'm not being very nice to her. She's quite a bit shorter than I, and she's never been very good at PE, but I can't help myself. Look at her, look at him. Cute. As much as I like Ikue, it is a lot of fun to tease her. "Sorry, Ikue, but you're on your own. If you wanna play with me, then you've gotta learn to keep up with me." "Now come on, slowpoke. These tax beetles aren't gonna catch themselves." Uh, I know that, but these shoes are hard to run in. They're too big for me. My feet keeps sliding around." "Then you should have worn better shoes before you came out to play, stupid." "Before?" "I know, but my mother threw my old shoes out. She said they were too dirty. I need to keep these ones clean, or she'll be angry." "And why will she be mad, huh? They're shoes. They're supposed to get dirty. Don't be so silly." Uh, I know it's silly, but my mother can be pretty strict about it. She wouldn't like it if I got all messy, so. Eek. I'm sure Ikue had more she wanted to say, but her reply is cut off by a high pitched squeak of surprise. I pause. glancing back over my shoulder at my friend and... Oh no! Oh, Ikue! She hurt her knee. She's crying. Why did you leave her behind? I sigh. I guess she got so caught up arguing with me, she didn't pay attention to where she was going. Her foot must have gotten hooked in a tree root, because now she's sprawled on the ground, her legs bent at two awkward angles. She isn't wearing a skirt at least, so she isn't flashing me her underwear. Weird comment, but okay. But her shorts would be all dirty now. She really is clumsy. What am I going to do with her? If I was a jerk like Daichi, I'd probably leave her, but I can't do that. I do feel kind of bad, so... Man, they're so tight, okay? I'm coming. I retrace my steps, stomping through the undergrowth until I come to Ikue's side. One of her large rebounds has been knocked askew during the fall inwards, and it looks like she skinned her knee. I don't know how deep the cut is, but she's bleeding a lot. I hope it looks worse than it really is. I'm not sure how she hit her knee, but it must have hurt all the same. I kneel beside her, setting my net and the empty mayonnaise jar to one side and give her knee a curious prod. How's that? Does it hurt? Yes, it hurt. It hurts a lot. It's bleeding so much. Well, I can see that, genius. Jeez, what to do? My grandmother always told me that the first thing you're supposed to do with cuts like this is to wash them, so they can get infected. That sounds like a good idea, but I'm not carrying a water bottle in my backpack. But I do have a carton of juice. Maybe that will help? I think about splashing grape juice all over Ikue's injured knee. It stings, Renji. But maybe that would make things worse. Perhaps I should hold off. What should I do? Will I be able to walk again? Well, the answer to that should be obvious. Her legs still in one piece, so I'm sure everything will be fine. I don't have any doubts there, but if Ikue is gonna be such a sissy about it, I guess I'll give her another look over. Well, let me see. Ikue is still bleeding, but I don't think it's anything life-threatening. My grandmother and my mother are both nurses, so I should know. It's okay, Ikue. You'll be just fine, I promise. Are you sure? It hurts really bad. It feels like it's throbbing. Maybe that's because it was so sudden. I think you almost have hit a rock or something, but it's okay. The cut's not that deep, and if you're worried, we can get it washed up in the river. Isn't the river dirty though? Well, maybe. There's a river which cuts through the woods, and I sometimes go splashing about in it during the summer. But I don't know if it'd be the best place to clean up a wound like Ikue's. The river is very muddy, and it's not very deep. You can see the bottom of the riverbed pretty easily from the banks, and it looks pretty dirty. The river is so shallow there aren't any fish at all in it, but there are a bunch of spiky rocks. Maybe watching Ikue's cut in that river would be just as bad as pouring sticky grape juice on it. Okay, we can go back to my place then. How does that sound? Well, would that really be alright? I thought you wanted to play out here some more. I did, but you're more important. I care about you way more than any silly insect. Mm, But you wanted to go hunting for sticky beetles. Aren't they supposed to come out around this time? You were so excited about them. Maybe I was. It's no big deal. I can go looking for sticky beetles anytime. I can always come back tomorrow. Uh. There'll be no buts. You stop fussing so much. We're going back to mine since your legs hurt. But let me fix it up for you first. I should have a plaster in here somewhere. I wrote about in my backpack where I neared my old pencil case. I don't use this pencil case for school supplies anymore since my mother got me a brand new pencil case at the start of the new school year with Godzilla on it. I bring it with me when I go into the woods with Ikuto. I use this old beaten up case to stick my plaster in, and they are actually pretty useful. Iku is maybe a girl, but she's really clumsy. She's unlike Anna in her class, who goes to ballet lessons twice a week, and she's unlike Amy, who does rhythm gymnastics. Iku is short and slight, but she isn't at all light on her feet. She stumbles over them a lot, like her body is trying to sabotage her. She's no good at running at all, and she always falls and grazes her palms. This plaster have come in clutch a few times in the past, and it looks like they're gonna save the day once more. I drop a few plasters into my palm, then show them to Ikue. A green one with T-Rexes, a yellow one with Stegosaurus, and a blue with Diplodocus. Diplodocus. I never heard this dinosaur in my life. Which one do you want, Ikue? Um, Ikue looks at the three plaster arranged on my palm. Her brow frowned with newfound concentration before she makes her decision. That one. She's pointing at the plaster with the yellow Stegosauruses, which isn't very surprising. Ikue might like a lot of the same boyish things I do. Really? Like giant robots and masked heroes, but she doesn't like dinosaurs that much. Once we went to a big museum in Iwamezawa on a school trip, and there was this exhibit about dinosaurs. I thought it was really cool, and so did the other guys, but Ikue didn't share my enthusiasm. She recoiled in horror from a statue of the spiky Triceratops, and she was so afraid of the T-Rex that she almost fainted. Ikue doesn't like dinosaurs much in general, but she had a bit of a soft spot for the Stegosaurus, probably because it didn't eat meat. I think that's kind of funny since Ikue eats plenty of meat herself. Her favorite thing to order at Petit Jardin is the hamburger stick, but it's better not to point us out. Okay, let me get you all patched up with Steggy here. All patched up. We can use the plaster to. Okay, I read this part already. I think that should be okay. Good. Apply the plaster to Iku's wounds very slowly and carefully, then sit back to admire my handiwork. The plaster has covered up most of her cut, through a little bit of blood is still oozing from beneath it. Maybe the cut is deeper than I thought. Oh well, she's stopped sniffing now, so she should be fine. Right, that's all taken care of now. I get to my feet, sliding my backpack over my shoulder, and dust my hands on my trousers. Then I hold out a hand for Ikue, my palms facing up. Do you need any help? Thank you. Ikue reaches out, her face a little flustered, and she takes my hand with her own. Her fingers curl about mine, and I haul her upright. It's raining. Fuck. Reaching towards to catch her when she stumbles. Take it easy, okay? Can you stand alright? I, um, I think so. Good. We should be able to get back to mine now. But if you can't manage it, I can carry you on my back. How does that sound? I, I guess I don't mind, but wouldn't I be too heavy? Nah, you're really skinny. I should be able to pick you up, no problem. But what about the backpack? And the jar? And the net? Won't it be hard to hold everything? We can cross the bridge when we get to it. Seriously, Ikue, you worry too much. You're always so gloomy. Which is probably why Daichi always picks on you. Oh, Ikue sniffles. Her doe-like eyes rim dead. She rubs her eyes with the back of her arm, smearing dirt across her cheek in the process and mumbles. Would that really help? Daichi is mean to everyone. Chihisuke looks incredibly sad and crumpled. I feel guilty if I keep insisting this is her fault. I think her personality is part of the reason why Daichi singles her out so much. But, well, maybe not. Daichi is a jerk, so he's probably make fun of you no matter what you do. But I don't think it helps that you cry so easily. You need to learn to toughen up. You hear? Otherwise, Daichi's gonna keep pumping a jerk. I don't wanna see anybody bully you. I'm the only person who's allowed to tease you. Ikue, do you understand? I understand. I think. Good girl. That's it. End this game. You might be clumsy and you are no good at sports, and sure you cry a lot, but that's fine. I don't mind it. In fact, I think you're really cute. I'm cute? Much cuter than Anna and Amy. So it's fine if you're a crybaby. I'll always protect you, even if you end up falling over your own feet. She's a crybaby. She's a man stand. I'll even protect you if Daichi keeps being mean to you. How does that sound? Oh, um, Iko's face, which was already flushed, turns even pinker. She's so flustered, she looks like she has a sunburn. Iko is no good at hiding how she feels, so her every single emotion shows up on her face. I think it's because she's so open that I feel completely compelled to tease her. She almost brings it out of people. She gets teary-eyed so easily, it's fun making her sniffle. But I'm not mean like Daichi. I'm Iko's friend. We're best friends. In fact, I've known her since kindergarten, and I've always been there for her. It's my job to look after her. I'll be up 100 Daichis for her sake. I'll beat up. That's how much she meant to me. She means to me. Sometimes I even think I might love her. Just a little. Ooh. I don't like girls that much, especially not the ones in my class. They are silly and loud, and they always talk about boring babyish things like magical pumpkin. Iko is not like that, though she's a, not like that though. She's a girl, but she doesn't watch silly magical girl shows. She likes watching Gungiver with me, and she loves Godzilla. I like her much more than I like Anna and Naho and Amy and so. Hey Ikue, I just had an idea. What idea? Well, I just thought I'm a guy and you're a girl, right? Oh, I guess so. You are not that girly, even though your mom makes you wear those ribbons. You aren't like Anna or Amy. But I think that's a good thing. They're stupid. I'll never, ever, ever want to hang out with them. But I like hanging out with you. I always have fun when we're together. So when we're older, I think we should get married. I think it is a sensible suggestion, if I do say so myself. In fact, I think it's very practical. Men and women have to get married. But I don't like any of the other girls in my class. I think Inanaho and Amy are especially annoying. Iku is the only cool girl I know, even though she cries a lot. Nobody knows as much about Beetle robots as she does. Beetle about better robots as she does. She's fun to play with, and anyway. If we get married, I'll be able to take care of you. You'll be my wife, and that means no guy will ever be allowed to be mean to you again. If Daichi tries anything, then I can get him arrested, and he'll be locked up in prison. I'll be your husband, and I'll protect you just like Gungiver protects Hako. Doesn't that sound cool? Renji. Ikue shifts shyly from foot to foot, her bare toes curling her sandals. She toys with her fingers and then... Do you really mean that? Of course. I like you, so why wouldn't I want to marry you? If you were my wife, I bet we could play together every single day. Wouldn't you get bored of me if we play together every birthday though? What? No way. You're my best friend. Silly. I would never, ever get bored of you. You're the only girl I wanna marry. It's you or nobody. Ooh. Well, I don't know very much about marriage, but I, I don't want you to be alone, Ren. And I like you a lot too. You're my best friend. So I guess I don't mind marrying you. You might even be nice. Um, but you wouldn't mind if I change a bit, would you? Change how? Well, um, I, I don't know. What if I dressed differently or I stopped wearing ribbons? Would you still like me then? Of course I would. I don't like you because of how you look, silly. I like you for you. You'll always be equal to me. And that's the really important thing. Don't you get that? It is really cute to say. It's a bit too complicated for me. Eh, I guess you'll always be a girl at the end of the day. Girls can be so silly sometimes. Mm, I think that's not what she meant. I lift my hand and give Ikwe a light chop on the top of her head. That makes her squeak. Oh, but I still like you even though you're a girl. You're my best friend, my bestest best friend in the whole world. And nothing's gonna change that. I promise. Ren. There's a small pause. Ikwe sniffs and then. Thank you. I like you too. You're my best friend too. So I wouldn't mind if you were my husband. Then that makes you my wife. It's a promise. Now we've got a swear on it. Let's do the thing. The thing? Ikwe looks bemused for a few moments, but realization soon dawns. Oh, do you want to do a pink promise? That's right, we gotta swear by it. Don't make the promise binding. Remember how it goes, right? Oh, look at them pinky promising. I link my pink finger with Ikwe's as I say. If either of us goes back on our word, we have to eat 1,000 needles. Uh, but I don't want to eat 1,000 needles. That's so nasty. Then you just have to remember a promise. You can't marry anybody other than me. You are my wife. And I'm not gonna let anybody come between us. You are all mine. Yeah, I can remember that day with a starting amount of clarity, down to the whispers of the leaves and the color of the sunlight as it filtered through the leaves overhead. I remember making that vow with Ikwe, and I remember her reply. I remember how adorable I thought she was, and how much I wanted to protect her. I remember how much I cared about her. But then, funny details are beginning to fade away. There's an unpleasant tiny sound in my ears, ringing inside my skull. It takes a few moments for the noise to really register, and when it does, I groan. My alarm has finally gone off, which must mean it's time for me to get out of bed and go to work. What a pain in the ass. Shut up. I reached out groggily, still half asleep, and snatched my phone up from the bedside table. Then I tapped at it, shutting off the alarm so it can quit it, with the annoying high-pitched beeping. At least that's one evil defeated. But the rest of the day looms before me even more malevolent than a last boss in a video game. I might have vanquished my wicked alarm, but my trials and tribulations are only just beginning. Fuck. I curse under my breath as I get up, holding a hand to my forehead. My skull is troubling and I feel faintly achy. My dream continues to cling to me, meanwhile, it's sticking to my skin like the fog of old sweat. The finger details of that dream are beginning to escape me now, but I can remember enough of it that it feels faintly nostalgic. I had a dream about the past again. I was dreaming about her. It's been years since I saw Ikue, but I still remember her. I cared about her a lot. But I have no idea what she's doing now. I don't even know if she's still alive. Her parents got divorced when Ikue was in her last year of elementary school. When her dad moved away, she left Kuriyama with him, and I have not seen her since. It's been 2 decades since, but I still think about her. She was such a scaredy cat. I have to wonder how she got on at her new school in Sapporo without me. Was she able to make any friends? Did she go to university? What does she do for a living now? Does she have a family, a husband perhaps, a couple of kids? And does she ever think about me? Junia, hey Ranji, how are you doing today, man? I don't know which voice to do for him. That's how my coworker Takanashi Junia greets me when I is linked to the office that morning. He waves at me, looking full of the joys of spring, which makes sense, I guess, since it is early April. I have no idea how he looks so enthusiastic. Didn't he just fall out of bed this morning, same as me? I guess some people are just built different. Hey man, you look like you're in a good mood. Did something happen? Well, duh. You know that something happened? We're gonna meet our new boss today. New boss? Now that's news to me. Since when were we getting a new boss? What about Miss Makinohara? Oh, and don't you remember? Miss Makinohara isn't working here anymore. She's on maternity leave as of today. She told us last Friday, remember? It was all pretty sudden. She didn't give us any time to throw her a goodbye party. Not that any of us would. I doubt she would have liked it. Knowing her, she would just yell at us not to make a mess of the office. And she doesn't seem like the sort of who likes cake. I've worked under her for 2 years already, but I've never seen her eat anything more than a salad. Maternity leave, is it? I remember her telling us that, but... No, wait. Not that Julia mentions it. That does ring a bell. How could I have forgotten? I hope I'm not going senile already. I'm not that much older than 30. Damn it. Hey, I'm not older than 30 and I have a bad memory, okay? That's why I was wondering who our new boss might be. Do you have any ideas, Renji? Uh, Not really. If I'm being completely honest, I don't really care who replaces our old boss. I never got on with Miss Makinohara, but she was easy enough to deal with. I just kept my head down and busied myself with my work. I didn't make any waves, so she never had any real cause to single me out. I was, by all respects, a loyal employee. I've never been all that loyal to the company, but I don't want to cause myself any trouble. If Miss Makinohara asked me to work overtime, then I'd comply without complaining. It was the easiest way to get by. I'll like it if the new office head is a little less strict than Ms. Makinohara. But I doubt it will make much of a difference to me either way. I'll keep on finishing the help tickets that get signed. I'll lightly stay behind if the company can't meet its daily quota, and I'll go home whenever my boss takes pity on me. It doesn't make any difference to me who will be overseeing our department from this point on. It's all the same as far as I'm concerned. And anyways, I'm too caught up in my own life to care too much about the people on the periphery of it. Sometimes I wonder whether this is a bad thing. Maybe I've been working at Furukawa Manufacturing for too long and I've been desensitized. I'm concerned that the longer I work here, the more my humanity leaks out of me like teenage trainer. I'm not like Junior, who still gets excited about office politics. He's only been here for 2 years and he's still pretty young, only 24. He still has faith in people. He believes that it's possible to make friends with your coworkers and even make nice with your boss. Everybody has a lot to learn. Man, I hope our manager will be pretty. I could use some eye candy around the office. There aren't many babes around here. No offense, Kurumi. Junia addresses this remark to our coworker, Igarashi Kurumi, who sticks her tongue out in reply. Kurumi isn't exactly unattractive, but she's not my type. She's very skinny, up and down, so all of her clothes looks a bit too baggy on her. Okay? Not something that we were asking, but okay, you go, guy, you know. She wears pretty thick glasses and she ties her hair back into these messy pigtails. I know she's not that much younger than I am, but she has this sort of schoolgirlish look to her. Maybe it's because she spends so much company time sneakily reading Druid webcomics on her phone under the table. I think my productivity would go up by at least 30% if there was a hot, busty babe in charge of us. I'd get through these help tickets at double the speed if it means she'll pat me on the head. Pat on the head? I roll my eyes. What are you, a dog? Not really. I can say I'm big into this puppy boy stuff, but if a beautiful woman wanted me to be her mutt, well, that's another matter altogether. Right? Good. Oh, it's here. Sorry. Right? Well, Good luck with that. I guess there's nothing wrong with dreaming, though. I thought our new manager will get that up close and personal with you. What? Why? Are you saying I'm not unattractive? I'm so unattractive? Fuck. I actually repel woman. Friend? No, that's not what I'm getting at. I don't think it will be very professional. This is all if our new manager treated you like a puppy. You know, Miss Makinohara would turn in her grave if she knew what you were saying. Well, I'm getting names wrong. Fuck. He's Junior. Maybe she would if she was dying. But you know, as well as I do, man, that she's on maternity leave, she's gonna bring a new life into this world, not shuffle off the mortal coil. Oh yes, I guess you're right, but Miss Makinohara has always been precious about her looks, hasn't she? Yeah, so to her, having a kid is probably like a death sentence. She didn't seem all that happy when she told us about it. Well, you're not wrong. I'm surprised you remember that did. You never seem to pay much attention to what anybody else is doing, and you completely forgot she was having a kid to begin with. True. How would that stick in your mind? I don't know. I guess I thought it was funny that she was so obviously unhappy when she told us about this. I thought pregnancy was meant to be a happy occasion. I guess it depends on the person. My mom started sobbing when she told me she was pregnant with my little sister, Akemi. And it wasn't with happiness, let me tell you. Isn't Akemi your third little sister? My fourth, actually. I have a big family, which is why my mom was so cut up about it. I don't think Miss Makinohara has any other kids, though, and I don't think she's married either. I have no idea who knocked her up, or why they even want to get involved with all of that. She might have been hot, but she's the last person I'd want to raise a child with. Damn. I don't think she would have given you the chance. She treated us like we were pound scum. You're not wrong about that either. I've no idea who her baby daddy is, but if I see the guy, I should shake his hand. I'm glad he got her out of her hair. I just hope her replacement is nicer than she was. You said you wanted them to be an attractive woman? Preferably, yeah, but Miss Makinohara was hot and she was a total bitch. Maybe a woman manager not the way to go after all. It's not. I wonder if we'll be better off with a guy in charge after all. I like somebody down to earth, a real guy's guy. Don't you think that sounds nice, Ren? Yeah, maybe. She's talking in the office. A reply, but it's a half-hearted answer at best. I'd rather finish up this conversation and make a start on my work for the day, but dun dun dun. Hello, everybody. It's wonderful to meet you. I'm attracted by an unfamiliar voice, one which belongs to a young man. Is that our new manager? The one Junior was speculating about? Man, couldn't he have showed up a bit earlier? I've literally just turned my PC on. Well, let me just take a look at my pending help tickets. I'll give this guy my full attention once I'm done. Wasn't it okay today? I stare at my PC pointedly while our new boss introduced himself, his voice low and rich. My name is Ikishiro Iki, and I will be the department head starting from today. Do you wanna see him? I'm in front of him, sorry. Let me go here. Look at him over there. Look over there. Look over there. See him long enough. Bye. Let me go back to my place. Boop. I'm here to pick up where Miss Makinohara left off, and I'll do my best to ensure that everything goes smoothly. Speaking of smooth, somebody sure sounds self-confident. He has a nice voice too, and he isn't stumbling over his words. Did he practice this speech in the mirror? What the heck? I might be a little bit younger than my predecessor, but I have plenty of experience. I'm going to work hard to increase the production of our little department, so I hope you'll be willing to work alongside me. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to ask. The doors to my office are always open, and I encourage you all to be as upfront and honest with me as possible. That is the best way to ensure the longevity of Furukawa manufacturing for years to come. Well, that's a pretty standard speech. It's nothing too exciting. Really, it's about what you would expect, in fact, from an office manager. Ikishiro? Yukishiro? It's a familiar name, but it isn't very common. I've only met one Yukishiro in the past, but I can't imagine her working as an office manager in a company like this. It shouldn't be possible, but... Dun dun dun. What the? My eyes meet our new manager from across the office, and the moment I look at him, I gasp. Why? This guy is wearing a business suit, but he manages to make it look pretty fashionable. It's a neat fit though, for a guy. His hair is kind of on the long side. It's falling over his right eye, like he's an idol in a music group. His shoes are neatly shined and his trousers look like they've been crispy pressed, but he has a silver stud in one of his ears. That's kind of uncommon when it comes to managerial types. Flamboyant to be an office manager at a boring company like Furukawa Manufacturing, he's way too attractive for the job. I feel like he'll be better suited on the stage, either as part of a band or an acting troupe. But it isn't Miss Yukshiro's good look which makes me falter. It's his eyes. They're very brown, just like a deer's. And even from a distance, I can see that they are lined with the longest lashes I've ever seen. His eyes are oddly beautiful, and they are familiar. I don't think he's a stranger. In fact, I'm not entirely sure if he really is a he. Not if my memories are serving me correctly. That sounds insane, even inside the confidence of my head. But the longer I stare at him, the more certain I am. This guy, is he Dun dun dun. Goodness me, this is quite a coincidence. I never imagined that I would run into you here, Renji. Right back at you. I mumble my response softly, my head bound, my fingers curled about the cellophane wrappers of my sandwich. It's a little after 12:30, which means time for a company mandated half-hour long lunch break. Half an hour? Damn. Mine was 20 minutes. Like always, I would buying a sandwich from the convenience store on the way to work alongside a bottle of oolong tea. The sandwich I picked up today is actually one of my favorites. It's a slightly sweet strawberry sandwich made with a soft white bread, which is packed full of cream cheese. You know what? I don't like. It looks horrible. It's a bit of a guilty pleasure, but I've always had a fondness of sweet foods. Something I'm sure Iki is well aware of. He has remembered that one time we went to Betty's Jardin for my birthday, and I wound up scarfing down 2 deluxes strawberry parfait. At the time, I felt like a king, sitting at the table with 2 flooded glasses full of ice cream in front of me, but I wound up regretting it later. It was a painful drive back to Kuriyama in my parents' beat up old Suzuki, and the 2 ice cream sundaes churned around painfully in my stomach. I had to ask my parents to stop the car when we were on the very outskirts of the village so I could kneel by the roadside and be sick. It was a pretty sticky end to my birthday, but I still enjoy eating those parfaits. Good to know, good to know. I'll definitely do it again if I wasn't worried about my stomach revolting against me. I might love sweets, but sweet doesn't love me. I often wind up feeling queasy if I eat too many of them, but it's just a single strawberry sandwich. It should be fine. I was looking forward to eating this actually on the walk to work, but my stomach is starting to feel tired all over again. Iki stopped by my desk when the lunch break rolled around and he invited me to eat with him. I didn't really want to, but I feel like I had no choice. I was afraid I'd be rude to turn him down, not just because Iki and I used to be friends, but because he's now my boss. I have no idea how lowly employees like me are supposed to fend off friendly or ventures from our bosses, or if we were even supposed to try. Miss Makinohara certainly never invited me to eat with her. She made her feelings about us workers drones very clear. I had no idea how Iki feels about me though. He must remember me, else he wouldn't have addressed me in such a familiar way. But how much does he remember about me? Does he remember the times we played together in the woods outside Kuriyama's? And the times we went catching bugs together? Does he remember how I would patch him up when he fell over and pat his head? And does he remember that one time I proposed to him? Of course he remembers. My face started to flood red, just like the strawberries in my precious sandwich. I look down pointedly at my feet and mumble, yeah, it sure has been a while, huh? We're both sitting outside on a bench at the back of the office block. Furukawa Manufacturing is located in a business park, and there is a bunch of other offices clustered here for different companies electronic companies, credit card companies, healthcare related business, you name it. There is this box sandwiched between all of these tall glass and concrete buildings with a lake running through it. And that's where I found myself. I don't come out here all that often, even during the summer. I prefer to eat in the office myself. Our lunch break isn't that long, and Furukawa's manufacturing is located on the 12th floor of an office block. Iki invited me out, however, and I didn't want to scorn him. It seems unlike he would abuse his authority like this, but I don't want to give him any reason to fire me. Iki might have been my childhood friend, but it doesn't take a genius to tell you that our relationship changed now. He isn't Ikui anymore, he's my boss, and he's one with all of the power in our newfound dynamic. I don't know if I have much of a choice, but to go along with what he wants. Not that I think he would start threatening me. Ikue would never do anything like that. Why are you calling him Ikue? It's not his name anymore. Please. Can I? I'm not gonna see when he takes that name. Iki doesn't look anything like his past self. Are they really the same person? His past self didn't have an older brother, did he? It seemed unlikely. I don't remember anybody like that. I'm sure was an only child. But running into him after all these years is just as unlikely. It really is a small world. So, I guess you live in the Sapporo, June? Hmm? Uh, yeah, I moved here to go to university, and I never went back to Kuriyama. I guess this place is my home now. I see. So you've been here for a while. How long has it been? Mm, about 9, no, 10 years. 10 years, hmm? He leaned back on the bench, one long leg folded over the other. He whistles and says, Goodness, time sure does go by quickly, doesn't it? Yeah, I found myself thinking that too. It's like, where does it all go? Astutely put. I often wonder that myself. It's been such a long time since we last saw one another, but it feels like only yesterday we were wandering around the forest in Kuriyama trying to catch insects. Though maybe I'm being a bit too sentimental. Oh no, I agree with you. I feel the same way. It really could have been yesterday. But wait, you remember all of that? Of course I do. I know it's been a while, but I'm not that old. My memory hasn't started to fail me yet. I know. I wasn't trying to imply that. I just thought it's funny, it's stuck in your mind after so many years. I mean, it's not like we ever did anything all that important together. Did we not? Iki blinks. There's a pause and then. Well, you might have a point. We were just children back then. We didn't discuss anything particularly meaningful. But I think you're doing yourself a disservice, Ren. I am? We might not have been solving world hunger or curing cancer, but the time we spent together was precious to me. After all, you were my best friend. Oh, I felt blush capture my cheek, though I really wish it wouldn't. I looked down at my lap, squeezing the cellophane wrapper of my sandwich and mumbled. Well, it's the same for me too. You were also my best friend. Good. I'm glad my feelings weren't one sided. Else, that would have been horribly embarrassing. So, how have you been? Have there been any interesting developments in your life so far? At least that's an easy enough question to answer. I'll say so. Yeah, I mean, I just happened to reunite with my childhood friend after almost 20 years. I'll just say that's pretty interesting, wouldn't you? Touche. I should have considered that myself. I was taken aback when I saw you too. But I actually want to know more about your life up until this precise moment. How were your parents? I always did like your mother. She was very kind to me. I was wondering if they're still living Kuriyama. My mother's fine, though she's getting up there in years. She has more and more gray hair every time I see her, but she still goes on jogs every morning. And she's still coaching the kids on Kuriyama's elementary baseball team. Still, it laughs. Your mother really is impressive. I know, she definitely get out more than my dad does. He's become a bit of a couch potato since he quit his job. But he's doing okay though. Okay too. The doctor say he needs to watch what he eats though. I change the ones that I saw. Well, your father always did have a sweet tooth, just like you. Iki chuckles, then looks at me, asks Kens. He frowns, then says, "And what about you?" This might be a bit cheeky, but since it's been such a long time since we last spoke, I was curious. Do you have a partner yourself now, Ren? Uh, a partner? Or a wife, perhaps? Did you get married? I remember you seemed rather keen on the idea when we were children. Though you've done a fair bit of growing now. You're 3 months older than I am, so you should be 31? 32, actually. I just had my birthday. It's in March, remember? Oh, yeah. Silly me, I'm sorry, Ren. I should have known. So you're 32. That's what I said. Well, you are definitely not too young to have a family now. I wouldn't even be surprised if you had a child or two. You haven't started a family of little ranges, have you? In the 2 decades since we last spoke? Uh, oh, no, I'm actually still single. And if I do have any kids, I'd be just as much a surprise to me as it will be to you. Nothing odd and interesting been happening in my life. And why are you asking me this anyway? Isn't this unprofessional? You've got me. I guess it is. But it's been such a long time since we last saw one another. I want to know how you've been doing. I'm not going to say that it's fate that we met one another again, but I'm glad we were given a chance to catch up like this. Just wanted to make the most of the opportunity. Right. I guess I get that, but it's not like this will be the only opportunity to talk to me, you know? If we're going to be working together, then we'll see each other almost every day. You have plenty of time, plenty of other chances to speak to me. But you are my manager now. Asking questions about my personal life like this seems kinda. I don't know. I know I apologize for being overly familiar. I can put some distance between us if you like. Though there is something where I said about that thought, especially when you once proposed to me. Did that slip your mind? Jeez, just icky to bring that up. Of course, I remember that. How could I forget? I was a kid back then, though, and I didn't really mean anything by that proposal. I like a lot. I might even have had a bit of a crush, but my feelings weren't this grand, overwhelming passion. I was too young to really understand what passion was. I just thought, without the simplicity of a child, that I wouldn't have minded marrying someone like that. But Iki are obviously one and the same. I can't see any traces of the shy person I play with in his handsome face. No, he's changed a lot. I have a really hard time describing this guy sitting beside me in his suite to the young person I used to play with. So much so I can stop myself from saying, I guess I did. I remember proposing to, but I don't look anything like. Are you really? Be quiet. My name is Ziki now, like I told you, but yes, that was most definitely me, even if I wasn't very happy with the way I presented myself. I wasn't very happy in general back then, but I can't deny who I used to be. No matter how different I might look now, I'm still your childhood friend, Ren. Right, so you were saying you were a girl once, or were you always a guy? I don't know if I get it. Are you confused? Kind of. You look like a guy now, but you didn't when we were kids. What even are you anyway? Damn, that's. You know, damn. I thought that was obvious. I'm your childhood friend. Yes, but wasn't the a girl? That's how the people saw me, but I never liked being a girl. And I never liked being equal that much either. Equal was my mother's doll, who had to do what she was told. But though it took me a while to come to terms with who I was, I think a part of me had always known. I felt uncomfortable with how others addressed me, even when I was a child. There was always this nagging doubt at the back of my head whenever you said I was pretty cool for a girl, though I knew you were trying to be kind. I was worried you might laugh at me if you knew how I really felt, so I kept my feelings hidden. But I moved to Sapporo and I grew older and realized I was tired of living a lie. I was and always have been a man. I just happened to be born into the wrong party. I've taken steps to correct that over the years, which has been liberating. Ike's voice trails off. He smiles sheepishly, running a hand through his hair, then says, But I don't suppose I need to share any more details with you. You probably find it unprofessional. And I think I've given you plenty of food for thought already. He's not wrong there. My head is spinning. I'm struggling to keep up with all of these revelations. I thought I knew everything there was to know about Ikwe. I knew how much they disliked the ribbons that her mother gave I was made to wear, and I knew how much they loved playing with my Gungiver toys. But they didn't like carrots, couldn't sleep with a stuffed bunny, Kinako without a stuffed bunny. that once stuck too much barley tea at grandmother's place, and then wet herself on the car ride back to Koriyama. It's so hard. I couldn't read normally. Sorry. I knew what to think about it. About the secret, personal things that I never told anybody else. I couldn't imagine what she would keep that she would keep anything from me. But it turns out there was a lot she wasn't telling me. She never told me how she really felt about herself. She never told me that he wasn't actually a girl. How could I have been friends with Ikue for such a long time without knowing something so fundamental about him? It almost feels like he was keeping me in the dark on purpose. I feel betrayed, but I know that isn't fair. It is strange hearing all of this now, but I'm sure it was more than simply strange for Iki to live through this. It must have been hard. I still don't really get it, but I have to try and be more understanding. Alright, I get it. I'll keep calling you Iki then. Though, since you're my boss, I should probably call you Mr. Ikishiro instead. Or sir, if you'd rather. Sir. Iki chuckles. I'm not too sure about that. It makes me sound like a knight of the round table. Mr. Yukishiro should be fine in the office, though you can just call me Iki when we're together. Do you mind? Why would I? I'm the one offering, and I'm not that particular about titles, you know. I think it's all a bit precious. Plus, you know what happened after I drank all of that barley tea at my grandmother's. Even if you did call me sir, I'm sure you always do it with a knowing smirk. Well, I guess so. I was thinking about that myself actually. Yes, I'm sure you were. Trust you to remember that, Ren. Why do you have to recall all of my old humiliations? You're so cruel. Hey, don't come for me. You're the one who told me about it, dummy. I didn't put a knife to your throat and threaten you to tell me about the time you pissed your pants. You did that on your own. And I regret that I told you about that ever since. Some things really ought to remain private for the sake of my delicate heart. Delicate heart? My ass. You might have been a crybaby back then, but you seem way more confident now. Well, that's because I've just been promoted. I need to act more like a big shot. Is it working? To an annoying extent. Good. I'm glad. Now let me just remind you of something. Kismayo though, I can tell the conversation has shifted. There's something serious about his expression, which commands attention. We might have known one another when we were young, and I might have changed a good deal, but that is something we'll need to get used to. It doesn't matter how you might have thought of me in the past, or how I might have presented in the past. You might have known me as Ikue, but I won't answer to that name anymore. I'm Iki. Please don't forget that. Keep that in mind, and if you do, we shouldn't have any problems. Uh, right, I see. I'll take that on board. Please do. It should make things far less awkward in the office. He laughs, then stretches. He raises his arm to the sky, his fingers entwined, and cracks his elbow. Then glancing back at me, he bends and says, "Thank you for listening, Ren. You've been a very attentive audience. You're much more patient than I remember. If we were still kids, I'm sure you would have interrupted my story 2 seconds in to say you wanted to go looking for stag beetles. Oh, sorry. I kissed you guys. Probably was a bit of a dick when I was younger. But it's been 2 decades. You aren't the only one who's changed, Paul. I like to think I've done a bit of growing up since then myself. Oh, yes, you've grown up rather remarkably. You look so mature and that sweet, Ren. I never could have imagined you working in an office when we were children. Wasn't it a dream to become a samurai? It was a toss up between that or Godzilla, yeah. But we're living in the Reiwa era now. There's not much of a demand for samurai, and I never was able to figure out how to spontaneously transform into a giant monster. I couldn't make any of my own dreams come true, so I guess I had to settle for being a salaryman. In that sense, you've accomplished way more than I. At least you were actually able to start living the life you want. Well, I'm mostly there. I've been doing my best. I suppose that's all any of us can do. Though, can I tell you a secret, Ren? What? I never wanted to be a middle mage myself. I would have been much happier working with animals. Oh yeah? Didn't you want to be a vet when we were kids? Indeed, I did. I'm fairly remember. But I soon realized that it was a dream which would never come true. And why is that? You promise? You promise you won't laugh? Do you think I would? You might be my childhood friend, but you're a boss now, man. I'm not about to make you into my enemy. You could fire me. Good point. I'm suppose I'm the one with the upper hand in this exchange. Though try not to worry. I will never be bullish enough to threaten my own childhood friend with being fired. That sounds like a misuse of my power. Or at least you're not a tyrant. That doesn't really make you better than Miss Makinohara in my book. So, what's the funny thing you want to tell me? Well, I don't know if it's all that funny, really. I'm too little upset by it though. I suppose I should have realized sooner it would become an issue. You see, Ike shifts a little closer to me on the bench, his voice dropping to a whisper. I still feel queasy at the sight of blood. Still? Unfortunately, I thought I might get over that when I got older, but no dice. My appearance might have changed a good deal, but inwardly I'm still a horrible scaredy cat. With my probably my stat pressed up against Iki on the bench. I guess I should have seen this coming. Iko has functions about around blood. I thought it was a pretty endearing trait. Though maybe I only saw it as such because I thought it was a girl. Cute girl. Eat. The tree is much less adorable when connected to a tall or dressed man like Iki. Oh fuck you. It's hard to think of such a sophisticated looking man having such an irrational fear, but I can't help myself. I start to snicker regardless, despite Iki's previous warnings. He pounds, giving me a shove on the side as he says, Hey Ren, I already told you not to laugh. It isn't that funny. I know, I'm sorry. You couldn't pursue the career you wanted, but really, thinking of a grown man like you coming over often at the sight of blood. You have to admit that it's kind of funny. No way, I don't have to admit to anything, Ren. You jerk. You are making me reassess my opinion of you. Iki sounds pretty perturbed, but I don't think he really means it. He watches me, is put for a few moments, his lips pressed together. Well, I guess it is a little bit funny. Until he, like me, started to laugh. We sit together on the bench, companionably, both of us nickeling the cellophane of my unwrapped sandwich, winking in the sunlight. It's getting kind of late since I was talking to AK for so long, and I should probably make a start on my lunch. I don't want to miss out on lunch. Unwrap my sandwich, my laughter topped off, and take a few mouthfuls. AK watched me, his head inclined, and then, "Hey Ren, you have a little something on your cheek." "I do?" "That's right, it's just here." "Here?" "No, not quite. It's a little lower down here." "No, it's..." "Oh, never mind. Let me..." "Damn, they're so cute." The sandwich. Icky leans in, breaking what little space there was between us, and then, ah, he brushes his index finger against my cheek. For a crazy moment, I wonder whether he might kiss me. He's certainly close enough for it. He's close enough I can smell the faint aroma of ground coffee beans on his breath when he exhales. "Here we go, I got it." But then he drowns away, and the tension in my body dissipates. He holds up the index finger on his right hand for my inspection, where a small blob of cream is resting, a rosette with a pointed peak like a mountain. It would have been a shame to waste this, and I don't want to wipe my hands on my sweet, so thank you for the food, heart. Oh, what? Hey, Icky. I watch, red-faced as Icky slides his index finger into his mouth. And he laps up the small dab of cream which was on my cheek. He takes his time, suckling on that little spot of cream as though it's ambrosia from the heavens. Then, to my immense embarrassment, he drowns his digit out of his mouth with a slick pop. There we go, all clean. I must say, it was very good. The cream was nice and light, though it might be a bit too cloying for my taste. I guess that's one thing about you which hasn't changed, Ren. You always have had a thing for sweets. It gives me a nudge in my side, most likely in them to be friendly. I know he doesn't mean anything. I'll I'll bite this and yet. Oh, are you alright, Ren? You look very red all of a sudden. You don't have a fever, do you? My heart's beating so hard. All of a sudden, I'm afraid it's going to burst. The rest of the week passes by at a snail pace. The day passes by so slowly, in fact, it's almost painful. I'm not unhappy about seeing Ikue. No, Iki again. But this has all been very sudden. I can't expect to meet my childhood friend this suddenly, or that he'll wind up being my boss. It's a lot to get my head around, especially when I consider how irritatingly attractive Iki has become. I always thought that Ikue was cute, but Iki is something else. He looks like a male idol. He's the sort of guy who could make middle-aged women swoon. And where does he get off being so tall anyway? It's not fair. Ikue used to be a lot shorter than I was. And she had this soft, sort of babyish face around cheeks and round eyes. She looked a little bit like a doll, and she was awfully clumsy. She would often trip over her own feet or over thin air, and I'll have to help her up. I guess Ikue has a massive grown spur in the years we were apart. She's, no, he's become even more masculine than I could dream of. I'm happy for Iki, I guess, that his dream came true. But how he wound up being so genetically blessed? Couldn't I have gotten some of these genes too? At least Iki is nice enough boss. He isn't sadistic like Miss Makinohara, and he hasn't demanded any of us work overtime yet. He's been pretty reasonable actually, but I still can't get used to him. Working under my childhood friend has thrown me, but Iki seems pretty popular in the office. My coworkers love him, especially Junya. Case in point. I'm gonna end this gameplay here because my throat is starting to hurt, and I don't wanna like fuck my throat and down Wednesday. I have a game that I need to play on Friday, which is even more text than this. But it's been pretty interesting, the game in general. I'm really excited to see where it goes. So yeah, I'm excited to see where this game goes, where this story goes.